You're watching 11 Alive Morning News. 11 minutes of nonstop news starts now.
Moving forward, despite ongoing controversy over the future Atlanta Public Safety Training Center, plans are headed for the next step, what city leaders have now revealed.
All new this morning, the FBI says it busted 3 nursing schools for giving out fake diplomas, and now the fallout is stretching to Atlanta. How the scandal may have affected care for our veterans.
Well, we're looking at the rain ending this morning. That's the good news, but we still have some fog in place, and we're going to have the clouds as well. And the chance for rain returns in full force tomorrow. More on that coming up.
First this morning, a family and nation preparing to say goodbye to Tyre Nichols. A funeral for the 29-year-old will be held in Memphis in a few hours.
It comes nearly a month after cameras captured Memphis police officers brutally beating him after a traffic stop. 5 officers were fired and now are facing second-degree murder charges. 2 other officers involved were placed on leave, while calls for police reform continue. Nichols' family says today will be about remembering him as a person, a father of a 4-year-old boy, a free spirit who loved skateboarding and had a talent for photography. Vice President Kamala Harris plans to attend the funeral alongside former Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms. Reverend Al Sharpton will deliver the eulogy.
Right now, plans are set to move forward for construction of the controversial Atlanta Public Safety Training Center.
The city made that announcement even as tensions remain very high between law enforcement and the many protesters who want to save the forest. Molly Oak joins us with the next steps for the facility.
The mayor says that training facility won't just be for police use. The fire department will benefit as well. It's something officials say they desperately need. Officials say the facility will also include a fire department burn building, a kennel and indoor-outdoor training facility for the K-9 units, a gun range, and an emergency vehicle obstacle course for both police and fire. During a press conference, Mayor Andre Dickens says they'll build on around 300 acres of city-owned land off of Key Road in DeKalb County. However, the training facility will only use about 85 acres.
The training center will sit on land that has long been cleared of hardwood trees. Arborists have confirmed the existing vegetation on this land is overwhelmingly dominated by invasive species like vines and brush, softwoods and weed.
So the mayor wanted to make something very clear. He says the new training facility will sit where the previous one sat, not in the wooded area. Back to you all.
Continuing with your 11 minutes of nonstop news, the search continues right now for a suspect who shot 2 men in Gainesville.
This all unfolding at a busy shopping plaza on Monday. Investigators say the suspect is 42-year-old Guillermo Vasquez Martinez. They say he targeted those victims at the village shops of Gainesville, leaving them critically injured. If you know where Vasquez Martinez may be, call police.
The race is on to decide who will be Clayton County's next sheriff. Voters got a chance to hear from 4 of the candidates last night. They talked about improving conditions at the jail and investing in training and more staff. The special election will be held March 21st. Clayton County's former longtime sheriff Victor Hill will be sentenced to prison on federal charges later this month.
We now know who will serve in the Georgia House seat left vacant after the death of former House Speaker David Ralston. North Georgia banker Johnny Chastain defeated Ralston's widow, Sherry, in a runoff for the District 7 seat. Chastain won by nearly 500 votes. And that was a look at your Wednesday morning headlines.
All right, Chesley, another rainy start and a rain pattern locking in.
Yeah, it's not going to went anywhere anytime soon for us. In fact, I think the rain will start to pick up later on tonight into tomorrow morning. We had the rain overnight, but that rain is now pushing further over toward the east. We're left with the clouds and some low-level cloudiness as well. We're dealing with some fog in some spots, folks. Not as widespread as we saw it yesterday or not as dense, but it's out there. So be careful as you're driving. You'll drive in and out of that. Temperatures around 51 degrees by 7 o'clock, at least here in the metro area, but we'll dip down, I think, into the 40s briefly before rising back up by noon to 52, 58. For an afternoon high, temperature will drop back down to 52 degrees by 7 o'clock, with some showers starting to move back into the area, isolated at best, becoming more widespread through the overnight going into Thursday morning. So you're looking at the winter weather that's back off to the north and west of us, and it appears though it's coming our way. Now, let me decipher these colors for you. The white indicates the winter storm warnings. We have that over into Dallas, believe it or not, with those temperatures in the 20s for highs today. This purple area here that's around the Memphis area is ice storm warning, and they've been already going through it. Had a couple rounds of ice in the area already, and so delays could be there, traveling obviously in and out of that area. And then extending all the way up into West Virginia, we have the winter weather advisory. So our neighbors to the north and west really going through it as far as the ice is concerned. That's very dangerous when we talk about ice. Snow is one thing, but ice is a totally different ball game. Not going to make it toward us, even though it appears as though it's coming in our direction. We're just going to see the liquid form of precipitation here as our temperatures will be warm enough to support that. So that's good news for us. Front has pushed through. Our winds now out of the northwest will remain light today, but we'll keep the clouds in place, folks. You may get a sliver of sunshine or two. That'll be it. Later on this evening, heading into tonight, overnight, we'll see the rain move back in. Waking up tomorrow morning, we'll have light showers around, so it will be a wet commute for us in the morning. Certainly a wet commute in the afternoon as well. We'll hold on to scattered showers through about noon. After that, the rain becomes a little bit more widespread and turning heavy at times on us as well. Not looking at much in the way of any thunderstorms at all, but we'll keep that rain in the forecast at least through Friday morning. That's when things will begin to subside and we'll get the sunshine in here by Friday afternoon. Looking pretty good for your Friday as well. In fact, through the weekend, we'll hold on to the dry sky with temperatures cooling off just a touch.
Georgia lawmakers are addressing gun safety with a new bill.
Some are pushing for gun owners to actually be held responsible if someone takes their gun and uses it during a crime. Ariana Maniz has a look at the new legislation.
Representative Mary Margaret Oliver sees her bill as a way to curb gun violence, as in some cases of homicide, shootings, and accidental shootings. Those guns involved didn't belong to the person who pulled the trigger, but oftentimes those guns were stolen. Now, statistics from everystate.org shows on average every year over 1,600 people died and over 4,000 were wounded by guns in Georgia. Statistics also show that the state has the 10th highest rate of gun violence in the U.S., which is why Representative Oliver is backing this bill, HB 135, and making it clear that this is not about taking your guns away. It's about making sure that if you own a gun, you are responsible and held accountable if you aren't. Representative Oliver says she does not expect her Republican colleagues to bring up this conversation in the General Assembly, but she does hope that record high homicides here in Atlanta encourages her Republican colleagues to come to the table and have real conversations about ways to address gun violence happening across the state. Back to you.
Staying within the state legislature, a new bill directly addresses children's mental health. It will require all Georgia public schools to provide suicide screening services for students from ages 8 to 18. The bill has bipartisan support in the House, and it does have some flexibility, giving parents the choice to opt out.
All new this morning in your 11 minutes of nonstop news. 3 nurses at the Atlanta VA Medical Center are off the job after a scheme involving fake nursing diplomas. We've been covering this federal investigation as they uncovered a plot at 3 nursing schools in South Florida. They were accused of handing out 7,600 fake diplomas. Police arrested 25 people. The schools were closed. One U.S. attorney says the scandal put patients at risk and erodes public trust. The VA says the nurses were removed within days of finding out about the scandal. In a statement, the medical center said the nurses' removals were very unfortunate, but patient safety is and must be the primary responsibility. Federal officials say nurses who lost their certifications over this scandal probably will not face criminal charges.
Today, we are kicking off Black History Month, and this year will mark just 80 years since the first Black service members were allowed into all branches of the military.
A new documentary on the first Black Marines in the U.S. hopes to educate, inspire, and help more Marines get the recognition they deserve.
There were a lot of Marines started out at Mumford Point who were still overseas in the ground, buried, and they wouldn't get no recognition.
The Montford Point Marines faced brutal racism and segregated basic training to serve their country in World War II. In 2011, President Barack Obama signed a law awarding all Montford Point Marines the Congressional Gold Medal, 20,000 Black men who had made heroic contributions during the war. But there are still 18,000 who don't know about the honor. So if you know of a living or deceased Montford Marine, we have more information on 11alive.com. Chesley?
All right, thanks a lot, Cheryl. Let's take a look at our forecast. By noon today, you're looking at cloudy skies. Temperatures right around 52 degrees. On our way into the upper 50s this afternoon. That's slightly cooler than where we were just yesterday. Temperatures were approaching the 70-degree mark yesterday, so it will be cool enough that I think you should maybe grab a light jacket just in case you need that. Driving home this evening, you're looking at 54 degrees. The clouds hang on, but the rain comes in overnight going into Thursday.
Come on in, Chesley. Help us say goodbye. Say goodbye to the people.
Longer walk than you think, folks.
Have a great day, everybody.